One of the really crucial positions in any nation is that of the president, and some leaders of the state get enormous compensation for their service. Now, not every person on this list is a president, but they are all heads of state and highly affluent. So why not simply throw them in? So here are the world's top 10 richest presidents and world leaders. Number 10. Donald Trump, with a net worth of $2.5 billion. Even before he was elected president, everyone was familiar with Donald Trump as a real estate developer, television personality, author, and professional wrestler. Before being appointed to the White House, people mostly recognized Trump for running the Trump Organization, a global real estate and licensing corporation with residential and commercial assets. He has a reputation for abruptly appearing on your television. Trump amassed his immense wealth through a variety of methods, including licensing his brand for a number of goods throughout the world and receiving 50% of the earnings from his television program, The Apprentice, in addition to his enormous presidential salary of $400,000 annually. The $210,000 yearly pension that he receives as a former president. This individual generates money in a variety of ways. Just to mention a few, there has been heated debate over Donald Trump's net worth for quite a long time. Trump himself has a value on it of up to $7 billion, while some have put it as minimal as $250 million. Additionally, it is subject to some significant variation. Forbes reports that Donald Trump's net wealth peaked at $4.5 billion in 2017 and declined to $3 billion in 2019. According to their analysis, Donald's real estate holdings and brand worth have decreased since he was elected president as a result of a few incidents he's actively involved in. Forbes now rates his net worth at $2.5 billion. Number 9. Sebastian Pinera, with a net worth of $2.8 billion. Next up are Chile's current and previous presidents. He has been in his current position since 2018 and was president from 2010 to 2014. He majored in business engineering and graduated from Harvard University with a PhD, eventually growing to be a wealthy businessman. Definitely not the first of its sort to appear on this list. Sebastian, the creator of the credit card company Bancard, amassed a wealth of $2.8 billion by controlling a number of other businesses, such as Chile Vision, a national television network for which he owns 90%. He also owns a football club and 27% of LAN Airlines. He later had to sell shares to avoid a conflict of interest, along with a number of other slight stock options in a lot of different firms. He also sold his stake in LAN Airline to Time Warner in 2010 together with Chile Vision for $160 million. Sebastian is a typical millionaire businessman. To put it briefly, he hasn't allowed his position to be slowed down by becoming president. Or why would he? When you are president, people frequently want to conduct business with you. Number 8. The Moroccan king, Mohammed VI, with a net worth of $2.1 billion. As you probably know, a few billion bucks are always involved when talking about the monarchy. The Alawi dynasty includes Mohammed VI after the passing of his father, King Hassan II. He succeeded to the throne in 1999, granting him full access to the enormous fortune of the Moroccan royal family. Mohammed VI is the top businessman and banker in Morocco. Forbes assessed his net worth to be $5.7 billion in 2015. Despite the fact that some could disagree, the latest estimate from a Business Insider puts the amount at $2.1 billion, making the Moroccan royal family one of the wealthiest families in the world. They collectively control the bulk of the Société Nationale Salvatism, a holding firm that manages virtually every significant industry in Morocco, including banking, telecommunications, mining, and energy. Mohammed, in particular, is a substantial landowner and agricultural producer in Morocco, where it is convenient for agriculture to be tax-exempt. Mohammed VI is engaged to Sama Banani, and the two of them have 2 kids together. Mohammed VI celebrates his birthday as a public holiday in Morocco, and according to Forbes, his castle has an operational budget of $960,000 daily. Number 7. Hans Adam II, the Prince of Liechtenstein, with a net worth of $6.2 billion. After his father's passing in 1989, he officially took over as Prince of Liechtenstein. Now, Liechtenstein may not be the world's biggest nation, with only 62 square miles and a population of approximately 38,000 individuals. It is one of the smallest nations in all of Europe, yet it has a very robust GDP of more than $6 billion and a royal family that is considered wealthy. The financial organization Liechtenstein Global Trust is owned by Hans Adam II, the most extensive family-owned asset management and private banking organization in the world. It has been calculated that the royal family of Liechtenstein is worth up to $7.6 billion. Back in 2003, the estimated value of Hans Adam II's personal wealth was around $4 billion. Since then, they have only increased in wealth. Hans is regarded as one of the wealthiest kings and rulers of state in Europe. Like any genuine king, he resides in an expansive castle with a sizable collection of art, most of which is on display for the public. His personal wealth was projected to be about $6.2 billion as of 2022. His net worth is equal to the country's GDP, ranking him as the 453rd richest man in the world. Number 6. With a $6.8 billion net worth, Silvio Berlusconi. Silvio Berlusconi was Italy's former prime minister. He is a businessman, a media baron, and the last owner of AC Milan, the infamous Italian football team. One of Italy's longest-serving prime ministers after the war was Silvio. He is famous for being Italy's senior playboy and for having run-ins with the authorities. Silvio once said in front of the world that he will always enjoy work, ladies, and play. Born on September 29, 1936, Berlusconi spent his early years performing in nightclubs and cruise ships while also studying law. He changed careers to the media industry in the 1970s. He finally turned to politics after becoming a wealthy media magnate. In 1993, Silvio made a formal run for prime minister. Forza Italy, his newest political gathering. From 1994 until 2011, he would go on to hold a position of the Prime Minister of Italy 4 times. During that time, he held the post for a total of 9 years. The enormous media empire Silvio Berlusconi established before he became the Prime Minister and kept running long afterward had a significant role in his ability to amass wealth. He first joined the media industry by starting a modest cable television firm called Telemilano. In 1978, he formed his first media group, Fininvest, and his foray into the industry helped him make $113 billion. Number 5. Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum with a net worth of $14 billion. Next up is a candidate with a rather impressive resume. Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is indeed the United Arab Emirates Vice President, Prime Minister, and Minister of Defense, in addition to being the head of the Emirati of Dubai. It's no wonder he's a millionaire with a background like that. Real estate is where Al Maktoum makes the most of his money. He is currently one of the most well-known real estate developers worldwide, which may have something to do with how he oversees governmental assets and his personal property holdings, making Dubai the international city it is nowadays. Al Maktoum oversaw the construction of such projects in Dubai that later attracted the attention of the entire world, including the Burj Khalifa, the Burj Al Arab Hotel, and the Palm Islands. Al Maktoum is the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and Dubai's absolute monarch, a post that has made it possible for him to collect his enormous riches. The distinction between the holdings of the governing Al Maktoum and those of the government of Dubai is also hazy. Al Maktoum has presided over the establishment and expansion of a number of firms and economic resources in Dubai, several of which are still his property, enabling him to acquire a large 531-foot-long yacht and a number of properties all around the world. Number 4. Khalifa bin Zayed Al-Nahyan with a $15 billion net worth. The current president of the United Arab Emirates and Emir of Abu Dhabi comes next. He is also the head of the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and the top officer of the Union Defense Force. In other words, He's a powerful man, and strength typically comes with a vast pocketbook. He is in charge of the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, which, when you think about it, is managing $875 billion worth of assets. To be more specific, the most significant sum that a nation's chief of state handles. He is regarded as one of the world's wealthiest kings, having 97.8 billion barrels of oil resources under control and a $150 billion family fortune. Unexpectedly, Forbes included him on their roster of the most influential individuals in the world. After his father passed away in 2004, Khalifa bin Zayed Al-Nahyan took over, becoming the UAE's president. But long before this one, he had a number of other posts as well. He has held many cabinet positions in Abu Dhabi, including Prime, Defense, and Finance Ministry. He has adopted a lower profile once it relates to state matters after experiencing particular health concerns, allowing his half-brother Mohammed bin Zayed Al-Nahyan to handle the day-to-day activities. He still holds property in Seychelles and the UK valued at several $millions. What else are you going to do with all that money? Not purchase real estate globally? Come on! Number 3. Hassanal Bolkiah has a $20 billion fortune. The wealthy Sultan of Brunei will be up next. On July 15, 1946, he was born. Hassanal had 9 siblings, but from a young age he was picked to succeed his father, the previous Sultan, Omar Ali Sufaiddin III. He then advanced to the Sultan's throne in 1967. One of the wealthiest sultans in the world is Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah of Brunei. In fact, until the 1980s, he was regarded as the wealthiest man in the world. Natural gas and oil reserves provide for the majority of his income. The Sultan has been a very rich guy for a very long time, since Brunei is Southeast Asia's 5th largest oil producer. The most outstanding collection of automobiles in the world belongs to Hassanal Bolkiah. He owns almost 7,000 vehicles totaling more than $5 billion. The Sultan's automobile collection includes 300 Ferraris and 500 Rolls-Royces. A Rolls-Royce with gold paint is also in the collection. But it gets much crazier than that. Talk about extravagance. Additionally, the Sultan has a number of opulent private aircraft such as a Boeing 767-200, an Airbus A340-200, and a Boeing 747-400, which also happens to be gold-plated. If you have the money, why not? According to reports, the man spends roughly $20,000 on a single haircut, so it's not entirely unexpected. Number 2. Vajiralongkorn with a net worth of $40 billion. The King of Thailand, Vajiralongkorn, who came in second place, was named Thailand's crown prince when he was 20 years old, ultimately ascending to his father's throne in 2016. Consequently, he is currently the world's richest monarch, and yet it comes in at second position here on the ranking. Crazy, right? It was agreed to give over the whole portfolio of the Crown Property Agency to Vajiralongkorn following his coronation. His power now extended to $40 billion. Some have calculated the king's personal wealth at this time to be $43 billion. Several significant assets make up the majority of the king's net wealth. $1.7 billion is the value of his 23% ownership in Siam Commercial Bank, one of Thailand's most prominent commercial banks. 16,000 acres of valuable Thai property, 33% ownership in Siam Cement Group, and more than 40,000 rental leases. Thailand has a constitutional monarchy as its form of government, where the king is the head of state, allowing him to enjoy many pleasures such as having the largest cut hand-faceted diamond, a 545-carat brown diamond, and an excessive number of aircraft, to be exact, 38 planes and helicopters. You see, in case he needs to board one plane for a trip and then request that another one pick him up. You know how it goes. Number 1. Vladimir Putin with an unofficial net worth of $200 billion. One of the most well-liked international leaders is ranked first on our list. He has been in command of Russia for a considerable time, not just because he is portrayed in the media. Whenever you aren't marked out after 4 years, you gain a lot more brand awareness. Putin has been the leader of Russia since 2012, although he first assumed power in 1999 while serving as the nation's prime minister. So yes, it has been a few decades, and he doesn't seem to have any intentions of retiring anytime soon. It's not precisely a surprise that Putin is the most influential person in Russia. Dealing with estimations, when they questioned Putin, he stated that he had an annual salary of $150,000 and a bank account balance of $179,612,000. The true enigma is just how enormous the personal wealth of such a prominent guy is. You may go ahead and add me to that list, even if many people might disagree. Thanks to specific covert stakes in some of the biggest oil and gas businesses in Russia, opponents of Putin assert that he has surreptitiously amassed over $40 billion while being in power and is genuinely Russia's richest man. Bill Browner, a former CEO of Heritage Capital Management, has the wackiest estimate of Vladimir Putin's net worth. He testified on oath before the U.S. Senate that Vladimir Putin had an absurd net worth of $200 billion, making him more valuable than the combined GDP of numerous tiny countries. Alright, which of these presidents do you think is unknowingly the richest one? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Mr. Exclusive, and we'll see you in the next one.